Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're at in the world today. If you're tuning in live, my name is Keith Holwa. I'm a business owner from Alberta, Canada, is where I'm living. And we're a group of business owners that we meet once a week. Nancy and Tammy and I have been doing this together for a little while. And we have a guest, Tammy Tope, who's joined us from Ontario, Canada here. And we're going to talk a little bit today about our business and how we built it, how we've all spent a little bit of time building our businesses. Some of us are still have daytime jobs or evening jobs. Maybe I don't know about Tammy Tope. I've never asked what she's doing, but I personally I've worked in the oil and gas industry for most of my life, and I worked overseas, and I came to Canada, back to Canada here in 2021. And in the summer of 2023, the company I was working for laid me off, and I decided that I wanted to move into the online space full time. My reasoning is that in the oil and gas industry where I was working at, the specific jobs that I was doing, I was always having to go wherever the work was at. So overseas, I was working in Cuba. And so I would get on a plane and I would be there for 5 or 6 months at a time. And then I'd come home to Canada for 3 weeks. And that part was great because I married a Cuban woman and spent a lot of time there doing that. But it also, I wasn't in Canada that much, and I've got family here as well. And so I never spent any time in Canada. And I was getting really tired of the whole traveling to go to work thing. And any of you that have traveled, I look like a complete idiot going there. I would have sometimes up to 770-pound check-in bags and 3 carry-ons, and I'd get to the airport in Havana, and there everybody's looking at me. Everybody's trying to get out of Cuba, and I'm bringing all this stuff with me. It looked like I was moving there. So, anyways, that's it for me. Let's go through some introductions. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Nancy. We'll work our way around. We'll go to Nancy and Tammy Tope, and we can all introduce ourselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Keith. Thank you, Tammy and Tammy Top, joining us tonight, Tammy. And that's your time spending with us, and people joining or watching this later. Thank you, guys. We've been doing this one for a while. I'm just going to be really brief with my introduction as well, too. This is Nancy. I live in Sydney, Australia, and mother to three and a four-legged baby as well, too. And my day job that I do, full-time senior manager in early childhood setting, childcare, and before after school care. And I'm loving doing that. That's kind of basically spent all my day, 7 to 5, basically doing that. And during the nighttime, this is what I do. It's 11:05 here at Sydney, Australia. And that's what I do, and I enjoy doing it. And here we are to talk about why we love this business and why I think giving some informations if people like to do it later on or decide to do it. So you got all the informations. You can decide on your own, guys. All right, I'm going to pass it on to beautiful Tammy.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. My name is Tammy. I live in Maryland, United States. I have been living here for the last 25 years with my husband, and we have 2 children, 2 college students now. And my profession is I'm a hairstylist. And I have been working for myself for years. I have my own hair salon, and about a year and a half ago, about 2 years ago, I started this amazing online business, and I still do what I love, my hair business. But in the morning, sometime, and sometime in the afternoon, I do my this online business as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Timothy, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. My name is Temitope Okewo. I'm so happy to be here with my business partners. I'm originally from Nigeria, but I stay in Ontario, Canada. I've been here for the past 11 years. I'm a mom of 3 amazing boys, and I've worked in finance and healthcare, but presently I'm just doing this business for now, and I'm a data business owner. Thank you.
Thanks, Temitope. So, all of us have started this business, and at the start of it, I'm sure all of us have, let me back that up a little bit. When I first started getting into this business, I didn't really understand what it was that this business was. You watch some webinars and you talk to a business coach, and I think it's a lot like anything else that you learn. When you first get into it, you don't fully understand, and then you have to figure out for yourself what works for you, because everybody's different. Everybody's got different work schedules, everybody's got different lives and families and commitments to other things. And so for me, we're talking about what are the biggest personal challenges we faced in the early stages of our businesses. And for me, the biggest thing that I faced at the time is I was living in Cuba when I bought into this business. And for me, the internet was a real problem. We didn't even have a phone line in our house. So I couldn't communicate with other business owners or attend webinars or masterminds or meetings throughout the week. And so I went through the training, and as good as the training is, it teaches you lots, but having that interaction with other people on a weekly basis in our meetings is really huge. So that's probably about another 50% of our learning is getting into these meetings, and it takes you to the next level. So for me, that was a real problem. I had a huge issue with that. And once I got to Canada here and I started to, I backed off the business because I couldn't make it go from Cuba. It was just too much for me. So when I got to Canada and I decided I wanted to go back into this business, I started off really slow. To be honest, I lost my job and I wasn't in a hurry to be doing anything. I was just so burnt out from working all the time and immigration to Canada and trying to get my family going. I thought, it'll be a snap. I'm Canadian. I can get this going. But, there's a lot to it to get a whole family to Canada and get them set up with their documentation and into school and helping them find jobs and banking. And the list goes on. And all of you have moved from other countries. So you all understand what it is that it took. So it took me a little bit to understand that, attending these meetings were really important. So I first showed up to the meetings and I just listened. I never said anything. I never put any comments in the chat section, and I just listened. And I'll tell you what, I learned so much by not saying anything. And even today, like last night, there was another meeting, and there's so much to learn from other people within this group. So for me, that was a huge thing, is not having that personal connection. So what about you, Nancy? What were some of your biggest personal challenges?
I think so. We didn't have any internet issue here, but as this internet was kind of like, now you don't have it. So like, anyway, so for me, kind of when joining, so it was just kind of because I want to do it so quickly and so fast, get that training period, just kind of get everything set up. I feel like I've done it like so quick, and then just taking it everything. We all know it's so much information to take in. I don't know, the different platforms, which one do you want to work on, which one to choose, and watching the masterminds. I think I was watching masterminds in a day 2 or 3, and then now after a month or two, looking back at them, just okay, I didn't take any note. Even if I took a note, I'm just going to say, what was all that about? Because I watched everything like so quickly. I think for me, my advice will be for people joining in, when you're just coming in, take your time. You don't have to watch 2 or 3 masterminds or all the trainings in a week or 2. There's not a rush there. It's not a game there. You can take your time. As Keith, I think, mentioned that it was take time slow at first. You could do that as well. I think it's better than doing it quickly. We all know it you do things fast, you're looking at it's messy. The job is messy, so you want to take it easy, take your time, and do that training. I think for me, just doing it too fast, too quick, I think was finding it a big challenge for me, because I've done it after. Says, okay, now what? Because you need to join those other groups that the training groups are. I don't know, every groups operate differently, so we've got a certain time so you're going to join and the meetings, group meetings, because you need to be at a certain level to be can understand what they're talking about. So for me, I think doing it fast, don't do it. Big no. Take your time, take it easy. If you've got the questions, reach out and ask people. I think you what they call it, put the stepping stones for your success. Taking your time and learn, observe and learn as much as you can.
Absolutely. The lady that was on last night's meeting, she went through a lot where she had her Facebook page is restricted. I think she said 3 times. And I felt so bad for her. She was in tears last night. And I'm just like, wow, like I've gone through some problems myself, but not like her. And so, but that's exactly what she said. Take your time, go through the training, don't rush it. And that's what she said. She didn't even go through the training. She just tried to start doing things and caused herself a lot of grief. And on top of it, she wasn't tech savvy, she kept saying. So yeah, I felt bad, so bad for her. She was having such a tough time. So how about you, Tammy? What was your personal problems there?
So my reasoning to join this business was my health, first of all. But the thing is, I never shared my health issues with my family and my friends. And I always kept it a secret from my family and friends. Even to this day, my parents don't know I had some health issues. So because of that, I wasn't camera shy, but I didn't want to talk about my health issue, my personal problems in my pages. So for a while, I was not talking about this business, especially I had my own hair salon and I was so proud that my business was thriving and I was doing so well. But unfortunately, because of my health, I wasn't able to be present in my salon and to be able to produce. So I had to reduce my hours behind the chair. And I was keeping it secret from everybody. But after a while, I realized that this business has been a blessing for me. The products in this business is health grade and it's gold standard. It's helping me so much. Why not come out of my shell and come out of those behind the scene and talk about it? And this was my biggest challenge. And I think I lost a lot of time in the beginning of my business because I wasn't feeling comfortable talking about what I did. I thought, okay, I have my business, I have my hair salon. I didn't want to tell people that I started another business and I didn't want to explain why. And that was my biggest challenge. And I kind of regret it, but lesson learned.
Well, that's, you're not the only one. There's lots of people within this business that feel the same way as you. They don't want to put their face out there or they don't want to talk about it. And they're really shy at starting. And that's, another new thing that they've got coming up within our training is this faceless marketing, which apparently is becoming very popular over the social media platforms. And I when I got into this business, I never saw an advertisement. I know a couple that are in the business, and that's how I got into this. I'm still skeptical of everything I see on internet. So I don't know that if I saw Tammy or Nancy in an advertisement on Facebook somewhere and that I would actually buy into the business, but it is a legitimate, real thing. And it's amazing to me how this all works together. So anyways, Tammy Tope, so what was your personal challenges? Let's hear from you.
Yeah, mine was skepticism. I was so skeptical. Like it sounded too real to be true. When I see people's success stories, I hear about, how amazing this business has changed people's life. I thought it was all, lies. I was so skeptical. So it took me a lot of time before I was able to join the business, and that was my biggest regret. But I thank God I was still able to join the business. So I was so skeptical, and my mindset too was part of the challenge. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to, how would I succeed in this business? So, but thank God, because of the wonderful trainings that we have in the business, I was able to, change my mindset, and I was able to overcome my skepticism as the business was also working for me. It changed everything, and thank God I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, skepticism that happens to a lot of people, and you hear it within some of the meetings that we have, where even ladies starting up the businesses not telling their husbands, and I don't even know how they can do that, but some ladies have, and then they've actually then finally come out and told their husbands, and here's a paycheck, and here's a paycheck, and then everybody's happy. That floors me that people do that, but I mean, I understand how that could happen. The internet, that's life, I guess. What do you do? So, but anyways, that's what we're talking about today. And if anybody out there is interested in what we do, want to learn a little bit more, you got to understand that, it doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time to look at what it is that we're doing. And there is, if you and you got to understand also that this is a legitimate business. So a legitimate business also costs, you're going to take you definitely time, and it's going to cost you money to get started. But I'll tell you what, when I first bought into this business in 2020, I wasn't worried about the startup cost of this business, because you know what, in the whole scheme of things, the amount of money that it costs to start this business is not that much. It really isn't. Now, I also understand that a lot of people out there are scraping to get by, and they have a tough time coming up with money to start a business. And there are ways that you can do this where possibly you can get started up without having to put money out there at the start. But again, that's a decision that anybody's got to make for themselves. So if you're interested, you can talk to any one of us, Nancy, Tammy, or Temitope. Go to their web pages and drop them a comment or a message, and they can definitely point you in the right direction. And just like all of us, we went through all the channels, including myself. Even though I knew people in the business, they didn't give me all the information at the start either. So, and that's why I was saying at the beginning of this, I was still really confused about what it is that this business was. But I saw that the impact that it had on their lives. I saw them on social media, and they were over in Greece, and then they were down in Costa Rica, and they were talking about what kind of like what we're doing, but I had no idea, and I finally talked to them about it, and they pointed me in the webinar direction, and I wanted what they were doing. I wanted that, so that's why I joined the business, was just because of that. So again, anybody else got any closing thoughts or words or anything you want to say before we get off? Nope, nobody. That's it. Okay, everybody. Well, then have a good.
I have a closing thought. I understand when a lot of people see this kind of a business, because there are a lot of things on the internet, people are skeptical, but I just want you to take that leap of faith. Just take a step towards, achieving your future. Decide for yourself. Like, if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again and you expect a different result, it's not possible, right? So you need a change. You need to take a step towards, achieving your goals. And we see that everything is going up now, but your salary is not going up. So you need another source of income. So either you want this business as a plan A or a plan B, it's achievable. This business works on automation, so it can fit into your schedule. So if you're out there and you're still thinking, you need to take that step. And remember, it's at the moment of taking a decision that your destiny is being shaped. So take that decision today, and you're going to thank us later. So that's my closing thoughts.
Absolutely, it can be done anytime, and you set it up. The automation is awesome. You get, I always see Nancy and Tammy, they pop up, and I always want to know what Nancy's talking about in her reels. She's got it in her language, and I don't understand what it is, but you guys it's always there. It's always popping up, so it's so awesome. Okay, everybody, have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good night, Nancy and Tammy and myself and Temitope. Our days are just starting.
Thank you very much, everyone, and happy
so much, guys.
Valentine's.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
happy
that's right.
Bye,
Day.
everyone. Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Valentine's Day. Bye.
Bye-bye.